Hello. Let's see. Somebody should try get online. Let me see if you can hear because I want to be. If you're online and you can hear me, let me know. Fast, fast. Yes, right. Yes. Hi. Can you hear me? PD. Access the site now. Oh, yeah. Okay. Somebody said they can hear. All right. So that's good. All right. So let's the assignment I gave you. So now at this point, it's 303. Anybody who submit after this time is not accepted, especially with the superstore um, work. Yes, I won't take it if you submit it after this period because I'm going to discuss it. The other one, I don't know why that's also difficult. We'll look at that too. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So, okay. So that is the screen. That's the data you have at your disposal. There are a lot of things here. There are a lot of information that's available there. Why? Are you wondering which is my sister? So he's trying to make sure you can hear me. So this is the data I give you. Now, the most important thing is understanding the data first, even before you load it on. Well, I think that's the problem you guys had. You just jumped into the data to see what data is about. No, before you work with any database, you have to first understand the content of the database. So this is just they say it's what superstore. Now, when I check the columns, we have A up to what X. That's more than 20 columns. That means there are more than 20 fields available in this particular data set that have been given. And with this, we can develop a whole database. Maybe along the way, we've also looked at given this, how can we develop the database out of this, create the links, right? Maybe that we put on PostgreSQL, and then importing it into a data warehouse to work with it at the data warehouse level. I'm going to try my best to get it as much practical as possible. And that will depend on you guys. So I have all this information. See, what I was expecting you to do is quite simple, but then you were making it very difficult for yourself. So now that you have this data set, the question you have to ask yourself is, what exactly do I want to get? Remember, I'm not expecting you to work with the entire data set. I'm expecting you to work with part of the data set. So when you check the videos I gave you, they didn't work with everything. At certain point, they would extract certain part of the data and then they would store it and then they'll work with that. So even though you have everything to your disposal, you have to be selective. That's where the confusing part. And it's a deliberate act. Because I want to see how you would manage the data set that has been given to you. Because we can get, if you have to work with this, there are so many things we can get of this particular data. Now, so we have raw ID, the role ID, sorry, which is the identifier for the role. But we have what? Order priority, right? Then we have discount price, shop, that is what shipping cost, customer ID, customer name, ship mode, customer segment, right? So that means that the customer segment is broken into several parts. Let me scroll to the top because I'm quite that means that the data here is very bulky. right? Then we have product categories, product subcategories, product what? Container, product name. Now, product container means that there could be the same product with two different containers, right? The sizes could change. Then we have the product name. Then we have product what? Base margin, region, state or province. That is then the what? City, postal code, order date, ship. We have that up to what? Then sales, order ID. So when I look at this, I have to explore the data very well. Then in my mind, there are about two or three things I'm looking at. So one, we have information that is strictly to only the product. Hope you understand. Because I can get the product name, product ID, the container, all those things are related to the product directly, either directly or indirectly. And then at a certain point too, we notice that we have shipping cost. We have shipping cost, then it means that we are looking at sending the product from our shop to the client at their home. You get it? So there's information related to shipment. If there is shipment, then there is, of course, order. The client, I mean, that's what we have our customer ID. Then we have the ID customer name. Then we have what? The order the customer made, which is almost at the tail end. The order what? ID. Now, if we are to group the whole thing by order ID, the most likely we are going to get some of the IDs being the same duplicate. I hope you understand why. You get why? Why confused? You are confused. All right. So when I go to ShopRite, Jumia, AliExpress, Alibaba, and I'm making an order, right? So when I go to the shop, I may select three or four or five to 10 different products, which will all be put together, right? I might put them in my cart, but based on the money I have, I might not order them at the same time. But if I have enough money, then it means that all the 10 or 15 products I'm buying would have the same order ID. So I could buy here, what do you call it? Airports, right? I could buy airport, 20 of them, but they could have different order IDs because I ordered them at different times. So I ordered 10 today, then tomorrow I get additional money, I order five. The next, that means the day after tomorrow, I order another five. That's 20. I will have three different what? Order IDs. That's why when you buy from Kiku, Jumia, or AliExpress, and you place the order, even if they are days apart, and they are shipping all to, or they send it from the warehouse to the shipping company. When the shipping company saw and realized that order ID 1, order ID 10, order ID 7 are the same destination, same customer. They will combine all together and let you know in the shipment section that all these products have been put into one. Then they will give it one shipping ID. So when you check that shipping ID, inside there are three different orders that were made. So when we check, we will notice that we have shipping what? Information here. Shipping mode, customer segment, there any other thing on shipping. These are the address, shipping dates, right? Then we have quantity ordered what? New. So, like I said, if you ordered 10 of airports, that will be the quantity, right? You are that's number you are on. So basically, this looks like more like an online service. Now, when you're asked to clean the data, you have to be able to give yourself a preamble. So this is a very open question. You can choose to only deal with orders or shipping. So what you do is that you extract only data related to what? Shipping. So when you extract data related to shipping, what you've done is that you've reduced the data from that much to just what? A small amount of data. Then you store it in a new variable. Maybe you call it shipping data. Once it's in a new variable, then that new variable becomes the base for your evaluation. So that is what you're going to click. Now, if you check, right? Let me see. Is it the one I have altered or not? All right. Okay. So now this when you pick column E, is shipping cost. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that column? Some have decimals to one, some have two decimals. What else? What shows that that is shipping cost? What shows that it is cost? There is no currency. So when you are working with it, right, you as the analyst need to ensure that it is in its right format. So if I have to do this, then I could give an assumption, right? Now, when I check the countries in the United States, I see California first. So you put a preamble using dollar as the what? Currency of operation. Then you ensure that these are in what? That particular currency. Now I can actually do it at the Excel sheet here, or I can also do it in Jupyter. So I would assign all the values under that particular column to a currency value, right? And then say that it should be a float. Now currency usually have two decimal points. So I say that. Or I can simply come here, go to the number format, and just make sure I append money to it. So now it makes sense that it's in dollars. You notice that all the decimals are now they're now two floating what digits after the point. So now that's what you do. You're putting the data in its proper form for evaluation. Because before it was only one decimal. You want to make sure that it's conforming to a format that is uniform. Not one is only everything have two decimal places. That's what you do. You have unit price as well. You can check. You can go through and check which of them requires you to what? Work with. Do you understand? Once you have been able to do that is what you do. That's what we call cleaning. In some instance, you realize that some of the data there is nothing there, and there is nothing like empty in the database. It's now, yes, but we need to replace the now with something. So we can choose to replace the now with zero. Do you understand? Zero, depending on what is there. If zero fits, we put zero there. If it's what do you call it? If it's a string, then we can't put zero. You understand? But we could create a new variable and then define that variable. You understand? So where we see that there is nothing, we just put the word none, which means the person didn't put anything there. I hope you get it. Now, it is at this point that you can actually begin to work with it. Now we've been able to sort. I'm working with only shipment. So I want to do an evaluation on shipment. I can pick extract only shipment. You get it. Once I get information on shipment, then the question, what am I evaluating on shipment? What do I want to get on shipment? What is the highest product that went through shipment? I mean, once you get all those information about shipment, you can work to do a whole lot on that. I hope it's clear. Good now. Good. Then there's other thing that in most cases we would need to look at. It is important to also understand the relation between or within the data set. So this is just all together. We should be able to extract tables from this. Now there are X is what? So there are 26 alphabets, right? So X will be 23 or 24 because X then you move to YZ, right? So minus 2. 24 columns. It's difficult to work with it. So one another thing you can also do is to try as much as possible to create a relational table for the data set. That one you don't have to do, you can draw it on your paper book. What's the relation between each of them to the other? And aha, this is the place where you'll be found wanting. And I won't do it. I'll make you do it. Another assignment. Because this is just now, this is in a first normal form. Then you have to now from this extract to the what? Third or fourth or fifth, depending on how complex the table is, the data set is normal form. So we have to ask ourselves, okay, which group is what's the base? What can we take out? Technically, even though it's in the first normal form, a lot of things have been done for you already. It is all together, but a lot of things have been done for you already. Because when we pick shipping, right? When we pick shipment, I haven't seen shipping ID. All right. Which means we might want to create what? Shipping ID. But we have an order ID. Right. So if we want to extract order, right? We get the order, we order IDs. That will be the primary key for an order table. The other table will link to something else. It will be linked to the other table will link to the shipping table, it will link to the customer table, right? It will link to products. But you see, at this point, you need to understand how they are linked. What's the relation? And that brings us to the other assignment I gave you, the diagram. That diagram is has the relation with all the cardinalities in place. So it's telling you that for every one, so okay, so here now order right can contain more products. The relation between order and product is such that each order is what? Many products. But the inverse is not possible. You can't have one, and you can have one product that belongs to many orders. But the idea is I want to pick a single order. It can contain multiple of the same product or different products. This one you need to also wrap your mind around it and understand it. We need textbook. What I'm saying is not. It's not. I don't even have a scheme for it. I am looking at the data. This is practically the first time I'm looking at the data set to understand it. Because the data set I have worked with previously, is okay. I deliberately gave this out. So it doesn't look like my part. I just came and then saved it as a new file. So we are all understanding the data together, data set what together. So we have order, we have sales. Now, sales will be what? Sales will definitely be contained. Sales is the summation of a number of products. You understand? Yeah. Then we have quantity ordered, right? So that means for that particular row, the number of products, there are how many? Two, right? So this is the profit that was made from this particular product that was ordered. Right. So this is the base margin. Ask yourself, what is base margin? You Google it and check what is base margin. You are working with data sets. There's certain things you don't know. Ask your, ask Google the question. You are not always certain things you find, you go to your client together. You would not have any idea about it. So you need to by yourself, you need to find out the meaning. You're working. See, at this stage, you're almost getting out of the system. It- context. What is base margin? That's that. Raging, you know what a raging is. So that thing you know, right? Then this is the product. Average what you have, right? So now you see that the container is what? It's a small box. The question we can ask ourselves is there an average 49 that is what? A big box. Maybe. Maybe. I've seen every 055 permanent skills adhesive something. Small box as well. I've seen a lot of small box, right? You when we meet, we'll explore the data more. So we have I've seen a small box, small pack. That means there are different packaging. Label, product some this is a label, this is what pens, papers. So that's a subcategory of what? The product category. So this is what product category. This is office supplies. This is technology. So there are different types of what? Product categories that exist. Then we have what? Customer segment. Corporate means that we are selling to what? A corporate entity. It's something that for corporate entity. We have home office. Right? There are which other small businesses, right? So the record we have, each code represents an entire detail of a single product spec. You understand? So for that product, we know the customer who bought it, the ID assigned to the customer. So you notice that everywhere there is what? Bonnie Porter, the customer ID is what? Three. That is his ID. Then what? Dwight Hong is what? Customer what? Six. We have the shipping cost, the unit price. So the unit price is here. We have the discount. It means that maybe when the person was buying the promo or discount code, so that was the discount the person got. Order priority, right? So this one not specified. Then have the what? Role ID. Yes. Now order priority means that it means that for that shipment, the priority or the maybe that becomes an extra cost. Express. Person needs it very urgent, so they will put an order priority. So if the person has bought and that's the order, means even we are packing everything, we stop and that's taking and we continue. If it's not specified, and we can treat it as whatever anyhow we want it. It's low, it means the person doesn't really need it urgently. Medium has a little urgency, but not high. Then critical. Critical means it is more than even high. It's an emergency. Pretty much that's what it means. Look at it. Hope it's clear. Now, when you're able to decipher this, then cleaning the data or working with the data in itself becomes easier. Because you need to only understand each column. Then you know how to what? Transform or let's say work on it, clean it, and make sure it conforms to a single standard for all. Discount usually is in percentile. But this is discount, so we know that it's a what? It's a what do you call it? If it's point, then we know it's what do you call it? A percentage form, right? So, but you can choose to convert it to percent or keep that. But you need to know the value you are working it. You need to know your mind, you need to understand. You need price need to be in currency form, not not just what a number or a floating a number to it. The same thing with shipping costs. We've done that. Now this means that we can also evaluate the data. We can even look at shipping mode evaluation. So in your what do you call it? Your data mining class, when we've done the warehousing well, looks like, then we can take and whether it's classification or clashing, whatever we want to do, or we can do a rule of association to see which of the shipments are actually shipping mode, what product usually comes from express air. So you can evaluate that. Your data mining class, you can evaluate that to understand the data, to know that okay, this store, which product usually is associated with air shipping, which of them usually is regular. That can also inform your pricing. Then we can check the order because every order is presumed to be one basket. So we can now get the order ID, evaluate the order, know which products are usually associated with each other. The law of association. So each order, when you realize that yeah, there are 20 different orders of similar products, then we can evaluate those this product. Usually when we buy, the other product comes with it. So they are associated to each other. Michael Ofori, what is it you don't understand? Uh, uh, Switch to my class. They said my voice is small. I want to verify that. I don't know how my voice is small because I know I'm shouting. Uh, the voice has gone down. Oh, okay. Let me check if it's there. Is it okay now? Yeah, I need to understand why the voice went down. So I need to check that. I was trying to use the. It says pet. So is it okay now? Those online, is it okay now? All right. Somebody said the voice is okay, so I'm good. I have you're 100 and something, right? So there are about less than 20 here, and there are 40 people online. Now, those of you online, how many of you are sharing a computer? You can lie. See, you can lie. I certain things, even though I know how to get you guys, you can that's your own problem. If you lie, me, I haven't done anything wrong. So those who want to lie, go ahead and lie. All right. So now I'm going to give you guys an assignment. The assignment is quite simple. All assignments are simple but difficult. All right. So the assignment is such that this assignment on the same data. Now the first thing we have. Okay. Let's try and break this into table, right? And create the relation between them. Don't worry about the cardinalities. When we come to class, we'll look at it. Right? So just create the relations between them. Right? So you create order table, customer table, ship table, right? All those when you have, you know that this thing, okay, this one can lead to that. So you just create that. Then let's see how far you can go with that. I hope it's clear. You just came into don't do this. Yes, I don't want to give you an example. I've already told you. So what example do you want? Ah, but then there's you guys already have examples. I've given you videos to check. There are examples in there. Funny. Sit down. All right. Okay. So let's look at it. Now I can pull customer, right? So when I check it, right? When I check this, even though it's a store, I think everything here is highly related to sales, right? Sales and then orders. So I check. Let me see. There is customer. So I've seen a customer name here, the one who is buying, right? So it means that I definitely need to have a table that is related to customer. So I'll extract customer name, right? Then we look at it. There's a product name. Now, this part, what is that one? The region, state, city, postal could be related to or is related to. You get it? It's related that those information are related to shipment, not the. You see, the reason why I don't want to relate to customer that I can be buying from Kumasi, but I'm shipping to Accra. And the title there is just too big. It's not specific. You notice that when you're buying online, they will usually ask for your address. They will say that if the shipment address is different, then you put a separate what? Shipment address. How we get it? So in this case, there are a lot of information about shipment. There's no way I can say that there will be shipment without an address. Tell you where I shipping it to. So definitely address, I'm linking it to shipment instead of the customer. I don't know if you understand. Is it clear now? Is it clear? Yeah. So I am linking address to shipment because it makes sense to have an address attached to shipment. And we are good. Is it okay? So once that we have that, I'm not going to add the address to the customer. So I'm only going to have the customer name, right? Customer, then the segment the customer belongs to, right? Corporate or non-corporate. I will add that to you. You get it? I'm trying to break the table into major parts. So that's the first thing I'm doing. Customer, so I'll link customer to what? This one, segment. Then I would leave extra columns as a provision. Um, the reason is that when we want to bring back this original table, we should be able to bring it back. And that would be things I need to bring into the customer table as to those tables. Am I making? So when you look at me in a certain way, psychologically, I can tell you're confused. So I need to look at you and ask, tell me your. That's why I don't want to jump into Jupyter now and then start. No. But when we're able to get the details of the data, well, that will solve a lot of problems. Even when we jump to data and we are coding, a lot of things we can easily work with. Do you understand? Is it clear? Those online, is it clear as mud or clear as crystal? Bianca, sir. All is asking if you're using Excel or Power BI. We're going to be using Power BI and then Python and then Excel. We're going to learn all how to go about it. Because it's important where we are moving to when you have these soft skills, these skills with you, after you can actually put your legs somewhere and then begin to work. As it stands now, I'm in a position with one of my colleagues to get a remote job. Right. They say 4 hours, only 4 hours a day. But I'm not interested in 8 hours. I don't get time for that. And I can't do it alongside going to school and teaching. I'll die. But the point is, if you understand this, it's a stepping stone for other things. It doesn't matter what you think you want to do, what you want to do. You understand it. So are we clear? So now I have taken out cost. But I have to remember that I need to be able to link with the role. So what I will do is that I will pick the role ID and put it in my customer table. You get it? So that if I want to reference that particular customer information with regards to the main data set, I know which role I'm talking about. I'll be understand. See, what we want is to break it from having a big data set to smaller tables. So we should be able to link it back to the original table or data set. That's why I'm putting the role ID there. Eventually, I'll use the role ID and put other things there. But the role ID at least helps me know which role I'm talking about. It's clear? Now that I put customer out, which other one can I pick outside? So I can now pick product. Now wait, when I'm picking, okay, customer have customer ID already. So I pick customer name, customer segment. Other that will link me to the table. You understand? So we have that off. Next thing we can look at is what? Product. So when I pick product, there is this. Every product have unit cost, product category, product sub label, right? The product container, the name already. I haven't seen anything like product ID. We've not seen anything like product ID, right? Let's go. Let's pick it. Postal, order. There's no product ID. It means we have to. we have to create an ID for the product. So that we can use it to identify. Hope it's clear. So we would create a product ID for our product table. So we use that to access that particular. And I'm also going to add again role ID to it. So when I want to piece them together with role ID, I can combine everything. So when I query, when I physical candidate from customer table and product table, right? Where role ID is 11 18608. It will pick all those that are 10 and put them together in one format. That's why I'm the product. Sorry, the role ID. When I want to bring it together like this as a one data set, it's that ID that will help me pull it together. I hope it's clear. Sure. So now we've extracted what do you call it? Customer. We've extracted customer. Product. Now we have hold on. Let me pick this. All right. Okay. So now we've extracted the customer ID from the table. Now when we go to insert order, right? So in the same way, we can extract order, right? So for the order table too, we would have would have the order priority because that belongs to the order, right? So the name sometimes will help you know where to. So order priority, you can pick that, right? Then we can have what? Order ID, order new what? Quantity, order what? Date, right? Order, that's all right. Then we add again what? Role ID. At the first step, yes. Subsequently, maybe no. So that the other ID, role ID would help us. When we you see, when you dismantle a data uh, records, you need to have that one thing that can help you bring all together back to the original destination. So here, we're using the role ID to help us do that. Fortunately, each role a record of each order that we have. Or shipment. So the last thing we now extract is what? Information on what? Shipment. You get it? So we have something here. You have to know this one. Base margin. Product base margin will go to the product table. Now, so on shipment, we have the role ID, but that's going to be the last column. Right? So we're going to have the shipment cost, shipment mode, the region, because shipment would get the address. The shipment will be where the address is, right? We have the or everything that has to do with address on shipment, and then the shipping date. Profit margin will go to something is not. We'll come back to that. And that is it. Now there's a last table we need to have sales. We'll link, but we can actually put when we're doing the product. In initial stage, we can put a product, but later we can take it out. We can take it out because it's not directly the product. It's a byproduct of the sorry, sales is a byproduct of whatever we bought. It's the quantity that we bought that determines the sales. You understand? So we can have a different, but because we want to have the initial, we can put them together. Is it clear? So now we've had so now how many tables do we have? How many Casamoncho? So we have what? Say it. Okay, so those online, let me see you type what we have. Which tables do we have now? Yes. Product, what else? Customer, order, shipment. So we are putting sales in product, right? So we have four tables at the initial stage. Each of the four tables, the last column will be what? The role ID. Now you ask yourself the question of which of the table that you've created now, which of them is partially dependent on what you've created? See, there are certain information you can take out. You understand? You can take out, create a new table for them, right? And the information they will still be intact. So what we are trying to do is to normalize the table so that when we have to delete any information, to not affect vital information. So we got to if I want to delete um, this particular detail. Now, in the computer, when you delete this, it will delete everything of it. And we don't want that to happen. So we don't want the situation where we delete one and everything goes out. I hope it's clear. Are we getting it? That's why we are normalizing the table so that each particular table will be independent and doesn't depend on the other. At this point, I leave the rest to you. Continue from where we stopped. Look at the table that we've created. Put in the headers, right? And then be able to know which question. Okay, let me give you a classical example. Um, for container, have you realized there's duplication? So for the product, you can create an ID, right? So you can have a container table. You can bring it out and then get a container table, and then create all the instead of having many like this, right? You only have the what do you call it? The containers. You only have small box, jumbo, right? Wrap bag, those ones. Because there could be other containers that could be also. So that when you create a new container, it has its own ID. I hope you get it. Do you understand? So now I'll create them. So if I'm taking this away from the product, in the product table now, there will be container ID there, which will point to what? The container table. Telling that if you see container ID 1, it means what? Small box. You get it? So if I want to change the container, it is only the ID I'm changing. If I want to remove a particular container, don't remove any information about the product. It will only remove the container table. which will not affect what. The only thing will be there could be that not specified. You understand? But it won't affect the details of the product itself. How we get it? That's why we normalize things, or we normalize our database. I don't know if is everything clear now. Are you sure? Very sure. So now you can do the assignment of people. Now, not the I said go and normalize the table. The whole table. I've given you the preliminary extraction. Extract it further, like I just did with the container. There are others that can do the same. There are repetition all over you. There's repetition here, there's repetition here, there's repetition here, there's repetition here. Right? Yeah. Even here. Priority. There is repetition. The same see the moment the same thing occurs severally for different people, it means that thing can be extracted out and have its own table. But a person can be critical, the next time is no more critical. I can change the priority. When I'm changing, I shouldn't affect the details of the table. I'm listening. Uh-huh. You move it further. That's why there's a so what we just did, right, was the second normal form. You can move further to the third, fourth. No. You're going to normalize the table, the database. I don't want to use the layman language. I want to use the correct language. Not necessarily. You want to use the word repeating, but there could be an instance where it is repeating, but you're not going to do anything to it. Yeah, there's an instance where it may be repeat, but you don't do anything to it. I don't know. Which I mean, like let's be honest. Every repetition can be normalized, but it depends on how level, what to what extent you want to normalize the table. See, normalization help make reduce redundancy, right? So let me show you one thing. Mostly what you're going to do, you might not catch this, but if I have to move further, right, and let's say get to a fifth normal form, I might have a city table, a province table, but those things are constant. You understand? Yeah, those things are constant. Like in Ghana here, you have regions. Whether you like it or not, there are 60 regions. So you definitely have one of those 16 regions, but they will repeat itself. So I can create a separate table for what? State or province. And I can create a table for what? City. And if I want to do data validation, maybe when you choose New Jersey, right, only cities within New Jersey will appear then. If you are doing a drop down, right, approach for selecting it. So because you've listed all the major cities in there. I hope it's clear. Then that might have its own what? Corresponding what? Postal code. There could be some relation between the city and the postal code. In some cases, I don't think so. Depends on how the data presents itself. I hope it's clear. So whatever you're doing, you're looking for okay, how can I reduce this to the bare that it is at um, the least workable level where it still makes sense. So when you write region, and there are 16 regions, and each has its own ID, 1 up to 16. It is workable, it makes sense. We understand the regions exist. But what you can do is, for instance, not cities but towns. You get it? A certain towns you can break them down. If you break them down, now you're going to suburbs. I mean, that one can change. It's like, okay, let me give you an example. I can say Kumasi, right? And you know, Kumasi is a big place. Aswansi is in Kumasi. But you know, there is also Abu Abu is in Kumasi, right? You know that there's Abu Abu also in Tamale, right? There are Abu Abu also elsewhere. So I don't want to create that redundancy. So when it's Kumasi, I know, okay, Kumasi. Then Kumasi has where it gets to, right? Then there are other places. So I can come down to, let's say, district or major cities, but not suburbs. Those ones, I'll allow you to type it in there. Matthias, is it okay? Any other question before I switch? Switch. No question. That question. What is the question I'm coming to you? Okay, so let's get the other presentation on. So this is it. This was the other question I gave you, right? Which was very easy. I don't know why. So those online you can question. If you have a question, write it too. If you have a question, just type it. I'll read it. All right. So we have this. The question was quite simple. How many of you submitted this? I've submitted answers to this. Okay. All right. Let me check online how many people have submitted. Jay Daniel, if you have a question, write it. Okay. So the question that you were asked, the first question was that. Let me go and copy and put it there so we can get it. That's the part I like about this one. When I post and I'm able to show it. All right. So the question is on your screen. The question is, what can you say about unit sales? Oh, no, that's not. Sorry, that's not the first question. That's not the question. That's the first question I answered, right? So the actual question is, which store? So what's the relation between cleaning the data and normalizing the data? Oh, okay. Now let me answer that question as I'm posting this one. Now, okay, so clean the data makes the data looks standard for use. Uh, looks standard for use. But when you don't clean the data and you want to use it for processing, you can't work with it. So, I mean, clean data is to make it more convenient and standardizing so that all the data looks the same. Normalization is just making sure you reduce repetition and redundancy in your table, not having the same thing appear twice or more. So the question uh, we have to work on is which store which store sold shoes and on what and when. The part you guys are confused. Eh? Yes, sir. Okay, so where do we start? Yes, any idea? Those online type where we think we should start. Where do you think we should start? Yes, yes. Okay, so the question is talking about the product. So we go to the product where we can find shoes. The table is there. So technically, what I want to do is something like this. What you do is something like this, right? Something like this. So from this table, I can create a big data set like the other one, the Excel sheet. I can expand all into one line similarly. So the first thing we look at is product. So we check product. So which product is shoes? Product ID what? 110. We are deciphering the question. Which store sold shoes and when? So we've seen store, this one, right? Shoes. Good. This is the product ID. So we come to the sales table, right? This is the product ID. This one, product code. So where we find 110, wherever we find 110, right, we will get to know because it is sales that is telling us what was sold. You understand? It is on the table sales that we can know which product was what sold. The question is which store and when. Do you get it? So when we come to sales table, we have the first product there, the first item having the code 110. We have the fourth product having the code what? 110. So now we know that there have been two instances of the product being sold. So the first, we need to identify which store and then when they sold. Good. At the same sales table, we come to the store ID. We have S1 and 3. So if you want to know the store, we'll come to the store table and identify what S1 is. And which one is what? S3. S1 is what? Jane's store, right? Located in San Antonio. And then S3, which is what? X store. Do you understand? So which store? We know James and then what? X. Then we go back to the sales table. For S1, when did they sell the shoe? Yes, your question. Okay. When you say S1, it's okay. But it is better you trace it to the store table to know the name. So if I'm writing it, right, for J, so I want to get the time, then I'll tell you how I write it. So now I have this, right? S1. No, you don't worry. S1, right? We are not interested in the cost, how many they sold. We are going to know the store and when. Period code 02, right? So when we come to see one to many, which means that each period can have many sales append to it. But there's no way one sales will belong to two periods. I hope you understand. So when we come, this period is 02, right? 02, that will be what? 2010. When? 5 is what? Month is 5. That means it is what? May. So it means that store S1, which is Jane's store, sold in May 2010. That's your answer for the first part. And store 3, you know that store 3 is here. That's 03, right? We come back to the period. That is what? June 2010. Oh, sorry, 02. Yeah, 02. That's also June, May, right? So it means that Ed also sold where? Are you sure it's 03? 03. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's correct. It's the same man, right? So at the same time, we had Ed also selling in the same month, right? Same year. I hope you understand. And that answers your question. Very simple. See how simple it is. Some people are looking at it keen like that. They're wondering, so that's easy. That simple thing and we're struggling. Ah, yes. That is how learning is. No, learning is like that. So second time that you always get it. All right. So then we have the second question, right? Which was what? Which time period has the most total of what? Sales, right? And I guess or dollars sold. Sorry, dollars sold. Let me let me go and do justice to those online. Where's my case? So the next question is okay, which period had what? The most dollars sold. There's people asking, say, what if you choose only, please, let's learn it right. If I mark it now, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But next time, put the name because we asked which store. We didn't ask for the store ID. Nobody knows the store ID. So it's like asking you of, it's like when you ask me of Google IP. I tell you to go and search for Google and I give you 174.138. No, you don't know. I'm telling you, oh, go and search on 194.136.13333. That's numbers. You didn't even know what I'm talking about. And when I say, oh, go and access google.com, it's the name. Easy to understand. Oh, that's right. All right. Then you have this. So, how do we look at this too? So here the question is related to what? Sales and then what? Dollars. So we come to the sales table, right? And then we check which of them has sold, not cost, sold. Which of them have the highest dollars? Are you sure? 2000. What does the question say? What does the question say? Thank you. So what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? So it means that we pay attention to the periods in the sales, and then we find the sum of the dollars sold for each period. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. Montiache. Uh-huh. All right. So now, thank you. What we do is that we come here. Period. We have this, right? And we have this, right? So, what is the dollar sold here? What's the dollar sold here? What's the sum of the number? 3,500, right? Then we come back again and then we check the next one. This one, 03, right? Then we have what? 03. What's the dollar sold here? What is it? Yeah. So it's 1,200 plus 1,200 give us what? 2,200. Is 2,200 greater than 3,500? No. So it means that store period three is no more high. But we still have period two as the highest, right? Then we come and then we check again, right? We have period one, only one step. That's what 1,000 what? 600 compared to 3,500. Which one is bigger? 3,500. So it means that period two, right, is the what? So we would say that period two. What is period two? Period two is what? May 2010 has the most with a total of what? 3,500 what? Dollars. That would be our answer. Is it clear? Sure. So what we are trying to say is this. This may look simple, right? It may look simple, but it's not as simple as it may sound. It is simple. If you're able to decipher the data set or the database that has been given to you, it will be easy for you to make. So that analysis we just did with the table, right? That is how we will be doing your big data, the data warehouse analysis. If you want to find certain information, it's not just in one location. So that what you find there is an entire information about sales, but then there are other tables related to sales. So if you want to have an information, that's why we say usually it's a cubic representation. We need to compare several linked to other tables to be able to get what extract the information we want about a single transaction or a single product or a single activity we want to do. I hope it's clear. Is it clear? All right. So that is how we have to work with our data set. Is it how difficult is it? It's not difficult. That is why we are starting from here. I've given you the basics. Go sit down and then revise your normalization. I will give you a video on normalization. Learn. It's good. There's video on everything in this world. Yes. The one that to do what? No. I'll give you another one. That one nobody does. At that point, we think we already imagine you know what normalization is. So you should be able to break it down. Listening. Yes. I said this is in a first normal form. With the first normal form, we say that all entities or all cells should contain only one entry. Everything here is one entry. And the column should have, there should be such that we can easily identify. So this is already the normal form. So after the first normal form, then we begin to split the tables, right, into the various tables. And I've helped you split the first part. That will be your second normal form. Yes. So already I've helped you with the second normal form. There can be a fourth and fifth normal form. Yes. Yes. No. Yes, we can't use the second. Even the third one, you might not even be able to use it. You might have to get the fourth or fifth. A saying. All right, guys. So thank you all. If you have a question, please type it. And don't say please question. Siama, you said you had a question. So what is your question? For Crabble, for the airport. I have another advanced database. Then I have an evening class. Please, this means redundancy are overlooked at a level of normalization. No, it's not overlooked. Normalization is done to remove redundancy. So we normalize the tables so that we can remove redundancy. Redundancy is repetition, right? We normalize to extent where we realize okay, there are no more repetition. Whatever repetition that is there will not hurt the table or the database. Sorry. Okay, he says we can overlook some, yeah, to a greater extent, but in most cases, we try as much as possible to avoid it. There are certain stages we can't avoid. Like I was saying, town. I come from Tamale, town, Aswasi, or let's say Abu Abu. Then when other person I'm from Kumasi, Abu Abu. The Abu Abu true there is not the same. It looks redundant to the eyes, but when we pick the system, we realize that it's not really redundant. It's two different places with the same name. So for instance, we have like three Kofodia. You have like three different. There's one on the what do you call it? Above four. So above when you go to above four, there's a Kofodia there. Then there's the what you think is the original Kofodia, which is not the original Kofodia. Then there's the third Kofodia, which is the original Kofodia, but it's not as big as the capital town Kofodia. Do you understand? Yeah. Kofodia, people from Kofodia migrated to there. Do you understand? Yes. But it doesn't mean that's the original Kofodia town. But it's because it has been developed. That is why that's bigger. But there are three different Kofodias. And we know that they are the same people. Do you understand? Yeah. My question is I've answered that question. So Siam, I answered that question earlier on normalization and then cleaning, data cleaning. They are not the same. They are two different operations. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our class for today. Next week we are meeting Monday and then what? Tuesday and Wednesday. So Tuesday would end the face to face, sorry, the online class. So definitely Tuesday we might meet face. Tuesday we might meet face. I'll confirm. So it's Wednesday. All right, but we'll meet face to face. We will meet face to face on Tuesday. Prepare, unless otherwise. Because you are going to come here very early in the morning. Yes. Have a wonderful day. I wish you all the best.